Here we go. Welcome to episode 2 of Guardians and Gladiators. Welcome to this week's episode. I'm Lizzie and my co-host D.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you for tuning back in. We hope everybody enjoyed episode number 1, and we plan on providing you with an even better episode 2. I guess we should also mention happy Thanksgiving to everybody as we record this Thanksgiving weekend. So we're hoping everybody has had a nice weekend, a chance to visit with some family. Been a little bit better than last Thanksgiving when we couldn't really go and visit anybody, eh, Lauzie?
Yeah, it was tough last year, but this time we were allowed to go around family and friends, and it's going to be a good Thanksgiving all the way around.
Yeah, hopefully everybody stays safe and follows the precautionary measures so that we don't end up with any more cases of people getting sick. So let's move on to some good news. This week's show. Now, Lauzie, you've been involved with Special Olympics for a long time, and I'm going to ask you, when you're competing in a sport or in a provincial games or national games or something like that, it's obviously important that you want to win, right? Like, you definitely want to win, but that's not the most important thing, is it?
No, you don't want to go there and try your best, and if you don't win, you know that you did your absolutely best to attempt of winning, but sometimes you get the short end.
Yeah, but I know, having spoken to a lot of you guys after coming back from some games, everyone's got great stories about the friendship and the people that they got to see again, and and the opening ceremonies and the closing ceremonies and the dance at the end. And there's always so much more than whether you actually won or lost in your sport, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Now, having said that, every now and then there are some ceremonies that are held to recognize some special achievements. And that's what we're going to kind of focus on this week in our episode, isn't it, Lauzie?
Yeah, that's right. There's there's award ceremonies for Special Olympics that in your own community that you win, and then there's some bigger ones that you get nominated for the whole province for Special Olympics.
Exactly. And then, as we spoke about last week, we can even move on to the national recognition when you talk about Canada's Sports Hall of Fame. And we're so fortunate this week that our 2 guests this week have both been recognized for their achievement in their sports over their lifetime. We can say these guys have been involved in Special Olympics for a long time and have been acknowledged at the highest levels. And that's, we're so excited today that we're going to give you a chance. We're going to introduce you to a couple of really special athletes. One who has been recognized on a provincial level and one who has recently been recognized on a national level. So we are looking forward to that. When we come back, we will get right in with our first guest. We think you'll have a great time listening to them. Both our guests today, very excited to have them on, and we will see you right after this. Welcome back to Guardians and Gladiators. I'm just going to read something to you here before we get to our first guest. This athlete has excelled in floor hockey. He's won gold medals in the National Winter Games in 2008 and 2012. Silver medal in the 2009 World Winter Games, and the 2015 Provincial Floor Hockey Championships. In 2009, this athlete was awarded the London Sportsperson of the Year award. And in the same year, was inducted into the Guelph Sports Hall of Fame. To top it all off, and those are only a few, we could probably have an hour and a half podcast today if we were going to everything this person's done. But to top it all off, in 2016, this person received the Lifetime Achievement Award for an athlete from Special Olympics Ontario. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please welcome to our show the one and only, the legend that is Scott Tennant. Welcome, Scott.
Nice introduction, Derek.
Pretty good. I had to shorten it a little bit so we could squeeze it all in. My goodness, we could go on forever here with you.
It's actually an honor to be on Guardians and the Gladiators and Guardians for your second podcast.
Well, I don't think
Thanks for
anybody's ever
coming
said
on.
that to us, have they, Chris? That it's an honor
No,
to be with us yet.
This is our first guest. So Scotty, you win the big award in 2016. Who called you? Who told you? How it went down?
It just feels like just yesterday, even though it was going back to the summer of 2016. But it was actually in July, or no, June, because it was just before Canada Day, I remember. And yeah, getting the word that my teammates dad, Rick Walker, submitted the application and mentioned all my achievements for just to win that the Lifetime Achievement Award.
Wow.
But then it was not until November of 2016 for the ceremony for just north of Toronto where I had to go for the evening to receive the award.
And was it black tie, tuxedo, Scott? Did you wear a tuxedo to it?
No. I was pretty comfortable. Nice dress shirt, dress pants, but no black tie.
So listen, when they gave you the award, what does it say on it? Does it say Scott or does it say Scooter?
It actually mentions my name, Lifetime Achievement Award from Special Olympics Ontario.
Yeah, but they left out the Scooter part.
Oh yeah, that's one of many nicknames.
We're all about nicknames here. Where did you get Scooter from?
It was actually before I became a Special Olympics athlete, though. But yeah, I remember my team or my brother's teammates for travel hockey. I would always help out, and Scooter and basically Timex was actually another nickname. I believe it was Jamie's dad, Rick Walker, actually gave me the name Scooter just because I would go after the puck carrier most times when playing floor hockey though.
When did you get into Special Olympics, Scott? What's your story?
Hard to believe. It was October of 2000. So going on 21 years now.
Wow.
What sport did you do first?
Yeah, it was floor hockey for the back then. It was actually the C and D level team with a special coach, Stephanie Sams, and Wendy Scanlon were actually coaches for my first 3 years before making the move to the B level.
Scotty, when you first started with Special Olympics, before you started with Special Olympics, what was your life like before Special Olympics?
Before Special Olympics, I really wasn't that active, and I I really didn't like going for long walks, but then then I I I was pretty well working as well as much as possible.
What about your
But
social life? What about, did you have a lot of friends and things before Special Olympics?
but, but yeah, before Special Olympics was I just really wasn't too active in the community.
Did you find it
But
hard to make friends before you joined Special Olympics?
oh yeah, it was really tough until because then when I started playing floor hockey, then I found out that more people were actually part of Hutton House and community living,
Mm-hmm.
and then I got involved going to dances and seeing teammates from floor hockey actually at the same events then.
Wow.
So
Can you imagine your life today without Special Olympics?
I probably wouldn't have had too many friends for sure, if not for joining back then.
Wow. And I mean, I know myself, having met numerous of the athletes, especially from the London area, and there's not too many that don't know who you are, and I think that speaks a lot to you. A lot of people know you, they look up to you. You've been in this for a while and you've accomplished so much that, it's obviously been very rewarding for you. And I think rewarding for all the other athletes, Chris included, that have got to meet you and become friends with you along the way.
Yeah, that's true. We did a lot of video chats during the lockdowns and always checked up on the guy.
Mhm.
Um, um, as you like watching like the NHL and baseball and all the other sports, what pro athlete inspires you to be the athlete that you are today?
I always said that 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 an athlete that I admire was actually the Detroit Red Wings captain Steve Yzerman back in the day when his hard work and dedication to playing for so many years, and then getting 3 Stanley Cups for for his career. So I admire Steve Yzerman.
Wow. Good choice.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. You don't get much better than that. I mean, well, I mean, you think of what I just said about you and about the people that know you in Special Olympics, how they look up to you. And I think if you asked pretty much anybody associated to the NHL with the last 20 years, I don't think you'd find anybody with a bad word to say about Steve Yzerman, right?
No way.
And it sounds like from the way I've seen you and from what I've heard from other people around you, very similar work ethic, commitment, dedication, teammates, everything. Like I guess leadership would probably be the word, eh, Chris? Leadership would be what we'd be looking
Oh
for
yeah.
there.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
He's pretty good leader on our team,
Mhm.
baseball and in hockey.
Yep.
Yeah.
I actually do miss not being on the field for the softball season for pretty well two summers now.
Well, I'll tell you, for everybody else that's like you guys that are missing their sports for the past year and a half or so, we've been kept pretty active on Facebook as far as updates and things to keep us busy. Hey, Chris, with this fella right here, some of the things that he's been doing here. Tell us a little bit about where you came up with this idea about you've had numerous different countdowns, that you've just continuously been active on social media and keeping all the athletes involved and interacting with everybody. And, you know, I know there's been times there I couldn't wait for your next post to jump in and see, you know, what exciting adventure you were telling us about, or what was number 14 on the top duo countdown or something. Where'd all that come from, Scotty?
Yeah, it's pretty well just something that I started a few months ago. Was trying to come up with a countdown for but I'm definitely not a typical DJ.
I don't know. You do a pretty good job on there. I mean,
Oh yeah, his countdowns were pretty good. Some of
They
them were
are.
good.
you've been not. It's funny because you give us your countdown, but then in the same post or in another one, you're updating us on the local sports teams on what they've been doing. You know, which is great. If some of us missed the game, I mean, just recently you were talking about missing softball, and just recently our London Majors here won their first IBL championship in 46 years, I think, and I didn't get down to a game, but I felt like I didn't need to because I was getting play-by-play updates almost from you on Facebook.
The London Majors have actually been my main focus for this summer, just because of not playing softball. So then I was lucky that a friend actually ordered tickets for me for this season to go, but then it was also just the 4 games for the playoffs, the 1 game for the semifinal, and then the 3 games for the finals for against Toronto. But I just thought that it was very interesting to try to put it on for my iPad as well.
Yeah, we've been watching a lot of them on YouTube, eh?
Yep.
In out of town. What is, like, out of the sports? Well, what was your favorite moment out of our, like, from soccer to floor hockey, baseball?
I really enjoyed before getting the Lifetime Achievement Award, us going to the provincials in 2015 in Ottawa, and basically working hard as a team. I thought that was our best chance at the provincial goal for and then basically after 2015 in Ottawa, it was pretty well 2019 for the provincials for basically when we stayed at Humber College again for in Toronto. So
Nice.
those were the best opportunities for the provincial golds and I pretty well think about all the years as my favorite then.
That's a great answer. I like that. Scott, listen, when we have an athlete on and joins us, this is how we like to wrap up with our athlete. We like to talk about the athlete's oath. Are you able to recite the athlete's oath for us?
Oh yeah. The athlete's oath. I was lucky to I remember doing it at the London Floor Hockey Tournament way back in 2002, and I pretty well live by it daily. So it goes, let me win, but if I cannot win, let me be brave in the attempt.
Scott, can you tell us about a time that you were brave in the attempt?
I'd say getting on the plane for the first time flying from Toronto to Vancouver as part of getting getting to Idaho was actually my first time. So that was definitely taking or being brave in the attempt.
Excellent.
Oh, thank you, Scott, for being on.
Yep.
And hopefully we can get back to our sports soon.
Well, can always hope, but we can only take it one day at a time.
That's right.
Truer words have never been spoken, Scotty. It was great to hear from you again. Thanks for joining us, and you look after yourself. All right.
Yep. Nope. Thanks so much for having me on.
All right.
Okay. Thanks, Scott.
Yep.
Okay, we'll be back with our second guest just after this short break.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Guardians and Gladiators, episode 2. That was great to have Scott Tennant as our first guest from London, Ontario, Special Olympics, and what a great award that he won. But now it's time for another guest. This guest has been all over the world with Special Olympics, breaking records. Ladies and gentlemen, Jackie Barrett from Newfoundland.
Welcome,
Hi, everybody.
Jackie.
Thank you, Derek.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Chris.
So, Jackie, it's been about a week since a pretty important day in your life, eh?
Well, that's true, Derek. About 6 days ago, I was inducted to Canada Sports Hall of Fame, which is the first time in Special Olympics Canada history that the Special Olympics athletes been receiving Canada's highest sporting honor, which is not only an induction to Canada Sports Hall of Fame, but also receiving an award called the Order of Sport.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's incredible, Jackie. We were really excited. We heard about it, and we did our very first episode last week, and Chris and I were talking about exactly that. You know, considering we talk about Special Olympics on this podcast, and that's what it's all about. And here you are at the same time we're recording our first ever episode, and you're out there turning heads in the whole country as the first Special Olympics athlete to be inducted into the Canada Sports Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Jackie. That is amazing.
Thanks very much, Derek.
Now, Chris, I don't know about you. You know, we go, like, we've got Lauzie here and D, and you know, and we had Scooter on earlier today, and last week we had Dozer. There seems to be a lot of nicknames around Special Olympic athletes. I understand you've actually had 2, haven't you, Jackie?
That's correct. When I was competing for Canada at the 2007 Special Olympics World Summer Games in Shanghai, I was often called the Halifax Hercules, since I was an incredibly strong guy and being from Halifax. Then when I moved to Newfoundland in 2008, I needed to get a different nickname. So when I was competing for Newfoundland and Labrador at the 2010 Special Olympics Canada Summer Games in London, the one thing I noticed was that many of the athletes on Team Newfoundland and Labrador had the nickname. So I had to come up with a nickname which related most Canadians to Newfoundland and Labradors. And so I was saying to myself, what's one thing that most mainland Canadians think about the Newfoundland and Labrador? And one thing that comes to mind is moose. So that's how I came up with the moniker of the Newfoundland Moose.
That's and I understand there's even like a hand signal or something that goes with this, isn't there?
There is now here's the hand signal that I use.
Okay. It's funny because last week when we were talking about you, and we had a guest on by the name of Rick Walker, who volunteers, and he's done officiating, and he actually helps with the powerlifters here in London. And when we mentioned about you, that was the first thing Rick did, was he did the hand signal to show like the moose ears on the top of his head. So he knew all about it as well. I thought that was great.
Yeah.
So
So,
I'm sorry about that. Actually, I competed with Rick Walker's son at the 2014 Special Olympics Canada Summer Games in Vancouver, and he's an incredibly strong lifter himself with a lot of potential to go far. And that's the same with most powerlifters who compete at the national level.
So as you got inducted into the Canadian Hall of Fame, how did that come about? Who contacted you from the Hall of Fame, and yeah, how did it all come together?
That was actually a bit of a surprise that I learned I was going to be inducted into Canada Sports Hall of Fame. The day I got a phone call from a representative or a board member at Canada Sports Hall of Fame, my spouse and I were just coming back from delivering care packages for a church, the Salvation Army, Gormbrook Citadel. Then I got a message from the Canada Sports Hall of Fame representative telling me that I was going to be inducted into Canada Sports Hall of Fame, and that was a bit of surprise. Now the challenge for me was keeping the news quiet until May 27th.
Yeah, I'll bet you that was tough.
Oh yeah, that would have been tough.
Well, that is exciting. That is, it must have been just a great moment. I saw you got interviewed by a few different media outlets last weekend, and TSN, I think, were speaking with you, and a bunch of different ones. That's just so great. It's so great that you get that kind of recognition. Listen, I got two numbers that I'm going to say to you, and I want you to tell me if they mean anything to you, Jackie. 656 and 611.
The 656 pounds was my best deadlift at the 2015 Special Olympics World Summer Games in Los Angeles, which was also a Special Olympics World Games record. When I broke that record that day in Los Angeles, that was a big moment for me, because that was one of my dreams, was to be the best Special Olympics powerlifter on the planet. And the one obstacle I had to face on the way was another great Special Olympics powerlifter from the United States named P.G. Griffin, who set the Special Olympics World Games powerlifting deadlift record back in 1999. So I knew that when I deadlifted 656 pounds in Los Angeles, that was a big moment to surpass one of my idols. And that's for 611 pounds. That was my Special Olympics World Games record-breaking squat from the 2015 Special Olympics World Summer Games in Los Angeles. And what a big thrill and excitement when I did that 611 pound squat. Because I said to myself, 600 pounds is 600 pounds.
Exactly. Doesn't matter who's lifting it, right?
That's right.
Wow. That is phenomenal. And I actually saw a picture of you and your dad right after you broke the world record in 2015. And I tell you, you're both standing there, and I think you were being interviewed by some media, and you had your arms around each other, and you both just, that looked like the proudest father I've ever seen, and you looked so happy. It was, and I understand that it was an even more special moment because a few months before that, you suffered a loss.
That's correct, because about 9.5 months before I competed at the Special Olympics World Summer Games in Los Angeles, one of the big quarterbacks of my life, my late mom, Jeannie Barrett, passed away after a courageous battle with lung cancer. And it was a very hard time for me because my late mom, along with my dad, had been very instrumental in my Special Olympics powerlifting career, and also my life's journey. And she was the one who actually convinced my dad to not send me to an institution. And what I mean by that was that when I was 4 years old, I was so out of control that my dad and my late mom had a very terrible decision to make. Either put me into an institution where I would not have the success I have today, or take the big risks and hope for the best, and say to the doctors, psychiatrists, specialists out there that Jackie Barrett's going to be a champion, not put into an institution. Mm-hmm. So to lose an important quarterback of my life, my late mom, was devastating. Now, on my road to the 2015 Special Olympics World Summer Games in Los Angeles, I actually had to undergo counseling to deal with the with the passing of my mom, and I think that counseling from my psychologist at Warrenbrook, Dr. Don McLennan, really worked. And if it wasn't for that, it could have been a different outcome in Los Angeles. So I thank Dr. McLennan along with Special Olympics Canada for that support.
Wow, that's strength in so many ways, not just the physically lifting 656 pounds, but that's some strength in so many ways, Jackie. That is truly inspiring.
So when you got up there, you looked at what you had to lift. Was there what was going through your mind at the time that you were going to lift and break the Special Olympics world record?
What's going through my mind, Chris, was that there was a lot of people at the Los Angeles Convention Center there to see the record-breaking lift and to see Jackie Barrett pull that big weight. And in fact, at the LA Convention Center that day, there were over 500 people in the stands, with many more actually waiting outside just to see me lift. So I faced a lot of pressure that day, but the one thing you learn in powerlifting is that you got to turn that pressure into a positive. And here I am squatting 611 pounds in front of a capacity crowd. And what a big relief when I got the 3 white lights from that lift and set a new Special Olympics World Games record. And the same was true for the record-breaking deadlift I did in Los Angeles. So what a big relief when I finally set the Special Olympics World Games record in front of a capacity crowd. And to have a big crowd like that, I wasn't used to it due to the fact that we compete most Special Olympics events in Canada. You learn that you're not there for the crowds. You're there to achieve something that's more important, that's to set the personal bests and records. The crowds and the spectator support is all just a bonus. It's the big lifts and the big moments that really count the most.
Wow,
That's awesome. All right, so now that you're retired from being a Special Olympic athlete, are you still doing stuff with Special Olympics, or are you all done now?
Even though I'm retired from competition, I haven't left the Special Olympics altogether. As a matter of fact, I'm on the Special Olympics Scorebook's executive as the communications officer. And also when, prior to the COVID-19 pandemic, I was actually a peer mentor with the Special Olympics Scorebook powerlifting program, where I had 2 great lifters, including Daniel Moores and Mandy Sims, who've always gone above and beyond to set a personal best. And then when the COVID-19 pandemic came, I had to put that on hold. In addition to volunteering with Special Olympics Scorebook as executive and a peer mentor, I also volunteer with the Salvation Army Cornbrook Citadel's youth program called the Kids Club. And unfortunately, that had to be put on hold because of the pandemic as well. But with everything gradually returned to normal, I can't wait to get back to serving the Special Olympics community and the community at large.
Absolutely. Yeah. And speaking of which, is there a light at the end of the tunnel for powerlifting? Do you think you're going to be back doing some very soon?
It's very hard to say, but right now I'm not going to get back to powerlifting. However, I'm still training about 1.5 to 2 hours a day just to stay in shape. And even though you might not be competitive as it used to be, at the same time, when you're in your late 40s like me, and you eventually go into your 50s and 60s, it becomes more and more important to stay healthy and to stay in shape.
For sure. I think what I meant when I was saying going back is I know you're doing some coaching and mentoring, and I'm sure you're looking forward to getting back into the gym and helping these young lifters, learn from you and like you said earlier, go out and try and meet their personal bests and make their dreams come true.
That's correct. With one of my lifters actually competed at the 2018 Special Olympics Canada Summer Games in Antigonish, and Daniel Morse was fantastic, where he won 2 silver medals and and 2 gold medals, including the gold medal for the overall in this weight class. And one amazing achievement to see one of my lifters who I mentor bring home a gold medal for Newfoundland and Labrador.
Very nice. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
got to be a
that's pretty
great
cool.
feeling. Listen, Jackie, what would you say? I mean, we're a fairly new podcast. We're hoping to get more and more people listening, especially in the Special Olympics community. But if we had any parents listening right now who had young children who had an intellectual disability, and they've heard about Special Olympics, but they don't know very much about it, what advice would you give to these parents who are trying to decide, is this right for my child? And based on your experience, what would you tell them?
Basically, what I would tell the parents is that if you have any doubts or concerns whether or not your son or daughter or someone you know should join Special Olympics, my best advice is to let them join, because the moment they join Special Olympics, you're going to see a lot of positive changes, not just in the short term, but also in the long term. And I can tell you from my experience that when I joined the Special Olympics back in November 1987 as a swimmer, about 6 weeks later, I was starting to do more and more things independently, and everything was changing for the better. So once again, if you have a son or daughter and who has an intellectual disability, and if you have doubts or concerns about whether or not they should join Special Olympics, my advice is let them join.
Excellent. And Chris, you could probably speak to that as well, couldn't you?
Yeah. Yeah, I started 2004, and they've been great to me.
Excellent. Yeah, and you're a father too now, right? So you know what it's like as a parent to make decisions that you think are best for your kids. And
Yeah.
I think that's awesome. That's just so inspiring to hear from both of you in relation to that. So great to see, what Special Olympics has done for you guys. I mean, I know a lot of people listening to us are already involved in Special Olympics, so this comes as no surprise to them. They know what an amazing organization this is. For people who are kind of on the outside and don't know much about it, these are just amazing stories. It's so nice to hear. So nice. Well, I have to tell you, Lauzie, it has been a pleasure for me. I'm sure for you as well.
Oh, I was excited for this day. We waited this whole week to get Jackie on, and
it's been so great.
It was great to meet you, even though we can't meet in person. But it was good to have this good talk with you.
Thank you. Now, if you're wondering why I'm wearing this scarf, now all Canada Sports Hall of Fame inductees got the sort of sport the scarf, and they also got the sort of sport the trophy, which and in the trophy it also says your name on it, which you've been inducted as well. And all the inductees get the sort of sport a trophy.
It's beautiful. I mean, just because this is an audio podcast, Jackie's showing us it's like shaped like a maple leaf, and he's got this beautiful red, white, and black scarf that goes around his neck that says Order of Sport, and just such a great honor. And I don't think they really even need to put anything about Special Olympics after your name, Jackie. You are a sports person who is in the Canadian Sports Hall of Fame, and that's all there is to it. That's so great. So again, the Newfoundland Moose has joined us here tonight, and I think we're all, you can't see us, but we're all going to do the whole the moose ears. That's awesome. Awesome.
You're on the right track, Chris.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Jackie. You go out there. I'm sure you're a popular person where you are right now, but keep up the mentoring, because I can't think of a better person to mentor these young powerlifters coming along. It's exciting, and I know that you'll stay involved and pass along your experiences to the new people.
It's a great pleasure, Derek. I can't wait to do that right once the COVID-19 pandemic winds down a little bit.
Absolutely. Okay, well, we're going to be back after this break to wrap things up with Lauzie and I.
Welcome back to episode 2 of Guardians and Gladiators. And D, what a special guest we just had of Jackie Barrett being on our show. Wasn't that just amazing?
Unbelievable. I mean, I know we both feel very privileged that he took the time out to spend with us today. That's our first, I guess we could call our first national guest that we've had on here, right? All the way from Newfoundland to join us. Thank goodness for our advanced electronic system now that we can get Jackie on here and have a nice little meeting with him and speak with him less than a week after he's been inducted into Canada Sports Hall of Fame. So exciting, And then at the beginning, we had Scott Tennant on. Scotty is just an incredible athlete from the London area who has been involved all throughout the province. But just like Jackie, he's traveled the world. They've been to World Special Olympic Games, and that's pretty special, eh?
Yeah, oh yeah, it is.
So, Lauzie, I'm just curious. Jackie talked about how, having basically retired from being an active athlete, he's still heavily involved in Special Olympics. And of course, when the lockdowns and COVID restrictions all lift, he'll get back into coaching and mentoring. Is that something you'd ever consider when the knees have given out and you can't run around the floor hockey floor anymore, about getting into some coaching?
I think so. I've been thinking about that, just what's gonna happen and when I'm done. So yeah, I think I'll put my name down as a coach when that time comes.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you've been involved in this for a long time, lots of experience, be able to pass it along to some of those young guys. And, just like Jackie was saying, help people reach their goals or their personal bests or whatever it is that they have to look forward to. Well, that's great. And I think people like you and Scotty in the London area would be a big, big asset. But of course, that's down the road. You guys are still out there crashing bodies and going top cheese with the disc in your floor hockey games and bringing back some medals. So we're not going to get too far down into you guys coaching yet. We'll just enjoy watching you compete, and hopefully that happens really, really soon.
Yeah, me too.
Well, that's a wrap for episode number 2. We're both pretty excited that we've been able to complete our second episode, and we're already in the planning for episode 3. We hope you enjoyed this one, and we look forward to speaking with you next week.
Yeah, thanks for listening again. See you next week.